Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and as promised I've got second video of the week using this week's Nail Team glitters of the week, the beautiful Mythical Shards collections. So in this video I've used one of the blue and the green glitters, so to see which ones they are and how I've created this set, please keep watching. So I'm using Danny, my other Elena hand, for this set, and from the Gems acrylic range I will be using crystal clear acrylic. You know I always use this one. I'm also going to use a touch of Rosabella, beautiful soft pink cover powder, and also a little bit of Eve. This is the blackest of black acrylics. The Mythical Shards I'm using in this set are Kelpie, this beautiful blue to green mix, and Basilisk. This is a sort of blue to deep blue purple mix. I love both of these, and I think a lot of the blues and the greens from this collection do work beautifully together. I'm going to start off and I'm going to do the thin clear base on all of the nails. So I've used the Gems extra long coffin tips for this set, and I've sort of chopped them into sort of a long almond, even going for a bit of a Russian almond, although I'm not sure how well that turned out. I should really just stick to the basics, you know, square, coffin, almond, stiletto, but I gave it a go. Now that my thin clear base is down on all of the nails, I'm going in to the middle finger, or onto the middle finger, and I'm just applying a little bit of Rosabella from the cuticle and fading it down just past that base nail free edge. I'm going to be doing a glitter ombre on this nail, and I thought Rosabella just gives a nice sort of more natural cuticle look than the plastic base nails. Just going in with a little touch more just where I felt I didn't have quite the coverage at the cuticle. We're keeping this nice and thin because I'm going to add the glitter, and that will all need to be encapsulated. So just for ease, keep this nice and thin and I can encapsulate the entire nail. And I've blended it out just past that base nail free edge. Now we're going to let that set, and whilst that does, I'm going in or onto the ring finger and I'm using Eve, this beautiful black acrylic. So I used a teeny tiny amount around the cuticle just to get a nice neat cuticle. I really don't want bleeding of this acrylic because black is one of the hardest to clean up. So I'm just working tiny wet beads and just building up the coverage on the nail. And before I put my brush in the monomer, I give it a really good wipe out on my little bit of paper towel, because I really don't want to turn the monomer black. If you're not sort of really confident that you can give your brush a really good clean out, have two pots of monomer, one for your sort of your black and your darker colours, and one for your cover colours and your pastel colours. Now I just painted that on. It's so much easier to paint on black and then encapsulate in clear acrylic, and I'm going to be adding some chrome to that nail at the end, just because I thought the colours of these glitters went really nicely with some of the chromes. I'm now starting off on the index finger, and I'm using Kelpie to start off with. This is the more greeny of the two glitters, and I'm just doing a full nail of this, although as I get to the tip of the nail I am just feathering and fading it out slightly, so I've got sort of more full coverage from the cuticle, and then it sort of fades out as I get to the tip. So again, smaller bead at the cuticle so I can really use the tip of the brush to make it nice and neat and not have loads of glitter to work with. And then once I'm happy with my cuticle line, I start adding more glitter, and here you can see I'm just feathering it down the nail. And I like to work a little bit wetter when I'm applying glitter, just so I've got a bit more play time, and this just allows me to then use the tip of brush just to move those glitter pieces around get them into place and not sort of have it set into a hard lump in the middle of the nail, which you really don't want. So here you can see just feathering it out towards the cuticle, just so it's not quite such compact coverage. That's the best way I could describe that. Using the brush to really pat it down, and then I'm going to leave that to set, ready to encapsulate at the end. Moving back to the middle finger, and I'm going to do, as I said, a glitter ombre here, but I'm going to do it using the two glitters. So on this half of the nail I'm using Kelpie, so just applying it where that Rosabella sort of starts to fade out, pulling it down towards the free edge, and then just sort of patting and pushing to feather it onto the cover acrylic, just so it's not a harsh line. I've got what is more of a blend and just adding a little bit more to the tip, so that I've got nice full coverage. You see, I'm trying to keep it on one half of the nail. Once I've applied the other glitter on the other half, I will then start to blend them together, so that again it's not a line going from one colour to the next, but it's sort of, they blend into one another. And then on the other half I'm going to use Basilisk. So this is sort of the blue, dark blue, and almost sort of a dark deep purple. I really like these two together. There are a couple of other blues and greens that again are all really nice together, but I just love these two. These are probably my favourite two in the collection. So again, I'm doing exactly the same. You can see I'm just feathering it slightly over the cover acrylic, so it's not a real harsh straight line, and then just adding a little bit more to bring it down to the tip, and just sort of blending it over into the half that I had already done, making sure I've got full coverage on this one. Whereas on the pink, the index, and also on the pinky, I'm going to sort of feathering it out towards the free edge. I want that compact full coverage on this nail. Just gone back, patted a little bit down where I wasn't happy, and then we're going to let that set, move on to the pinky, where I'm going to apply a full nail of Basilisk, exactly the same way as I did Kelpie on the index finger. So starting at the cuticle, using the tip of the brush just to prod and poke and push the glitter into place, so I've got a nice neat cuticle line without too much bulk, so you're sort of patting it down and trying to keep it as individual pieces of glitter as possible. And then I'll start to add more glitter so we get that full coverage down to the tip or the free edge. So when I'm working with glitter, as I said, I like to work my clear acrylic slightly wetter, as it gives me a little bit more play time. I do a lot of the work with the very tip of my brush, as it's much easier to move those glitter pieces around with the very tip of the brush, bit like a pointer. And I also like to let the glitter set. I like it to be sort of 50% or more set before I encapsulate it, because there's nothing worse than spending time placing that glitter, really pushing it around, getting the coverage, getting it all nice so that you're happy with it, and then going in with a bead of clear acrylic and the whole thing smushing and moving, and your full coverage nail having a great big hole in it. So the design, or the acrylic part of this design, is all done. Now all of these nails need encapsulating in clear acrylic, where I will build up the apex on all of these nails, make sure I've got the structure, and also make sure all of that glitter is fully encapsulated, so that when I do come to file it, I don't file any of the glitter away, and again leave myself with a little gap or hole in the design. So I will do that off camera, and then I will file all of these nails back to that nice shape that I've got, refine the surface and smooth it all out, so crispen up the sidewalls and the free edge, and then we'll be ready to come in and do the final finishing touches to this design. So here they are, all freshly filed, and I do love a freshly filed nail. I'm going to give them a really good wipe over, get rid of any little bits of dust or fluff, any oils from my finger before adding in our finishing touches. Now I've got a couple of crystal mixes from Crystal Parade. I tried to pick out colours that went really nicely with the glitter, so I've got some greens and blues and ones that are a little bit sort of chameleon, two-tony, so depending on how they catch the light. And I'm just going to do a few around the cuticle, just sort of a little cuticle tiara of these crystals. So I've picked out my colours and sizes, and you know me, I start with the middle one and then I like to do one side and then the other side so they match up. So as you can see, I've gone for the greens, the blues and the turquoises for this, and I'm using the Gems Greta glue, and then I'm just going to leave those to fully stick in place. Moving on to the black nail, give it another good wipe over, because I definitely don't want anything in this nail, because when you're using pigments, any imperfections show up. And I'm going in with a nice layer of Tina top, and I'm going to pop this in the lamp to cure. Now I didn't do it for a full 60 seconds, I did it for more of sort of 45 seconds. And this is the chrome that I'm going to use, the beautiful Mustang from the nail team. Pulled out of the lamp, and then I'm just going to use my finger. You can use a silicone tool or one of those little eyeshadow applicators, but I've always got my finger with me, so you know, use that and rub it in whilst that top coat is still hot. And then I popped it back into the lamp for sort of 15-20 seconds, just so it's got that full 60-second cure. Once out of the lamp, we're going to dust away any excess pigment, because that will ruin the look when top coated. I did give it another buff over with my clean finger, and then I used a little wipe to wipe the chrome away from the nail, or the finger, sorry, before going in with top coat. Now I pulled the nail out of the hand to wipe away the excess chrome. Obviously you can't do that with a client, so you might prefer to wait until all of these nails are fully top coated before cleaning off, or just be really careful, maybe use like a little cotton bud or something just to clean away any excess chrome or pigment. And we're going in with Tina Top to top coat all of these nails, wake them up, bring them back to life, and really show off that finished design. With those crystals, I just push the brush right up to them, get in any little nooks and crannies, and this helps to add a little bit of extra security to keep your crystals in place. Now this has been cured for 60 seconds and this design is finished, and I absolutely love this one. I love the chrome, I love these glitters, I love the touch of crystals. I think this is my favourite of the two designs. I love the first one, but I absolutely love this one because I do love those glitters. Now if I was doing this design on myself or on a client, I don't have clients, but on another person, I would double top coat that chrome nail, but or even do base coat then top coat, just to really seal in that chrome. But because it's on a practice hand, I just did one top coat. But that is this design finished. I really hope you've enjoyed this one and love this design as much as I do. Don't forget, I do welcome any comments down below, so please leave me any comments or messages, and please give this video a thumbs up, and if you've not done so already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I know I've been on a little bit of a video sabbatical the last couple of months, but I promise you I am back now. I'm already planning my videos for next week. So make sure you check out the description box, because I will pop product details and links in there for you all. Don't forget, those beautiful glitters are on offer this week as Nail Team Glitter of the Week, so you can get them at the reduced price until Monday morning. But for all the other products at the Nail Team that are full price, you can use my code HELEN5 for 5% off. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye! Mwah.